What's going on, video peeps? Welcome to 1.0 Media Studio. You guys are getting the first look. So the studio, very makeshift, very raw right now. Got my little setup going on here. Dun 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 dun. The glass wall is the only thing that separates us from the salon. Ready to record the first ever YFYI podcast at 1.0 Media. You guys, all the video viewers, people that are watching on the YouTube, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Thanks for sharing it. Super excited to make this happen, to get this journey started. So I got my little sound booth set up. So we'll see how the audio comes out. I also have separate audio for you guys, the video viewers. So you guys got your own custom audio feed. So we'll see how that audio goes. Definitely excited to get this journey started. Today is May 18th, the grand opening, the first ever production happening here. Been in here pretty much most of the day doing some shots, for some different parts of the projects that are being worked on. Definitely excited to get things rolling. So we're gonna get this podcast started. Are you guys ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. This is the YFYI podcast. This is where you come to get your mind right, get your money right, get your learn on so you can get your earn on. In the business of beauty, I'm your host, Sunny D. Thanks for being here. If you're a repeat listener, welcome back to the YFYI podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome aboard. If you're a new video viewer, this is your first time checking out the podcast in video format on the YouTube, thanks for being there. If you don't even know about the YouTube channel, where videos are getting dropped like hotcakes, like not, once in a blue moon, like the channel was kind of non-existent, but now I'm talking like almost daily. Could I say that? Could it be almost daily that videos are getting dropped on the YouTube channel? It could be. It could almost be daily. But now with 1.0 Media, with the studio in full effect, you guys are getting a first look inside the studio. I think the video production is going to be off the chain, starting with the podcast being recorded as we speak. Got a little snap, got all the people on the snap saying what's up to people on the snap. And then we've got other shows that are going to be coming out of here. So if you guys have been listening to the podcast, been enjoying the podcast thus far, I think you're really going to enjoy what we have in store, from makeup, hair, fashion, health, business, beauty. All of these different kinds of topics are going to be coming out of 1.0 Media. And we've got a cast of characters who are all part of our team, people that we've had as a part of our team for a while, that are going to be taking a brave step, getting a little bit more comfortable, getting in front of the camera, talking to you guys, the audience. So that's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to start this journey. I'm excited to get things rolling here. And so with this being the inaugural production day at 1.0 Media, this is a real special day. So remember this day, guys, May 18th, 2018. You were a part of it. So I'm super excited. And what I want to talk to you guys about today on this kind of inaugural episode is really just about, staying the course, because a big thing that comes up in everyone's life at some point or another, you're going to be challenged. And those challenges are gonna, sometimes they may not look like what you thought they would look like. Sometimes your challenges are gonna look a lot different than what you thought they would look like. Sometimes they'll come in disguises, sometimes as good, sometimes as harmful, sometimes as scary. Sometimes those challenges, you won't recognize them at all. but staying the course is something that's going to be critical, and that's going to be a big factor in how you deal with those challenges. Now, for some of you, you might be right now, you might be in the winter of the challenge. You might be going through it right now. You know, you might be, you know, having your career or your next move or whatever you're anticipating, or don't even know what you're anticipating. Everything's up in the air. Everything is staying the course. So in a time like that, if you find that that's where you might be right now, you might be in one of those winters, you might be in one of those uncertain times, and a time like that is when staying the course is going to become instrumental in your survival. And I'm using a word like that. When I'm talking about this word survival, the reason I'm using the word survival is because that's what it seems like sometimes. You know, I know. Like I'm trying to survive. You guys are trying to survive. We're all trying to survive. And when you're in that mode, you know, as a human being, you have to think about this. As a human being, we're not wired to run into the fire. We're not wired to run into the flame. We're not wired like that. That's not our natural DNA. Our natural DNA is about protection and preservation. So when you are faced with the fire, when you're faced with the situation, your natural DNA is going to be to run away, not run towards. Now, there are some people out there that may be wired to run into the fire or run into the flames, but that's not the natural DNA. Now, those people that do that, you know, we cherish those people. We hold them in high regard. You know, people that a lot of them put on uniforms, firemen, you know, police officers, military. I was in the military, you know, so and the job that I had in the military, that my job, got some visitors in the studio, some little gnats flying around the studio tonight. But my job, that's what my job was. So in my own job, in my own line of work, I saw some people that were, yes, in that role, like that was their job, but that's not the role that they probably should have been in. You know, they ended up in there in an infantry role where you know that your job is to run towards the sound of gunfire. But now when you take that out of that job, take that into whatever you're doing right now. If you're a new hairstylist, you're a salon owner, you've been a stylist for a while, you too are needing to be able to stay the course. You're dealing with maybe the winter right now, and you're hoping, you know, summer is going to come soon. But when you hear that fire, whatever that fire looks like to you, whatever the storm looks like, whether it's, you know, whether it's a small little, you know, there's a little bit of smoldering going on, you can start to see the smoke, you don't really feel the heat yet, or it's a full blaze inferno. How can you train yourself to go into the fire? You know, and that's what I call staying the course. You know, a while back I wrote a post on Medium. If you guys don't know about Medium, it's a great app. Short, you know, it's a blogging, basically a blogging or micro blogging app where you can read great articles on there. And I wrote this little article about burning the boats, and I talk a lot about that because I really believe that's staying the course. You know, what Cortez did with his men, knowing, hey, look, 9 out of 10 votes on this would be not to do what we're about to do. But that one vote that's gonna be going in this direction, which was his vote, that's really the vote that matters. That one vote which is gonna be going in the direction of like where the most danger is, that's gonna be the vote that matters. 9 out of 10 times, we're not gonna wanna go that way. 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna wanna go the opposite direction. 9 out of 10 times. So what makes that 1% go in the direction of the fight? You know, and that's what I want to talk about. A couple things I would think. First and foremost, when is the last time, this could be a drill, this could be something small, this could be something, you know, like it could be something that stretches you, but when was the last time you really, you did something that not like just made you uncomfortable, but that like literally got you to the edge of freak out? You know, there's a term out there, you know, a lot of people, they cherish this term. And when I say cherish it, I mean they hold it in high regard. And when you start to look into the term, you realize, you know, that it's actually psychosomatic. And if you think about, you know, what a psychosomatic means, you know, it's something that happens inside of our own mind. Something that happens inside of our own mind, like we create something inside of our own mind, and it almost becomes a physical, it can manifest, or an actual thing. So psychosomatic, first of all, before I tell you what the thing we cherish is, so psychosomatic, you know, thinking about this, caused or aggravated by a mental factor such as internal conflict or stress, right? So psychosomatic, relating to the interaction of mind and body. Now the thing that we cherish though, this word, you guys may have heard it before, is called anxiety. So we're going to put anxiety on a pedestal right now. And we're going to talk about what it is. The term anxiety, you've heard of maybe an anxiety disorder. You know, what that refers to is specific disorders that involve extreme fear or worry. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're planning to stay the course, if you're planning to be that 1 out of 10, remember, burning the boats, Cortez, 9 out of 10, let's not do that, because these boats are our only way out of here. But Cortez said, you know what, we're burning these boats, because then that gives us only one option. Well, technically, we get 2 options, because the one option is we take the island. The second option, by default, if we're not successful in our mission, we perish, we die, it's over. So that's where he decided, I'm going to do what the 1% will not probably do in this scenario. I'm going to, even though we're outnumbered, we're outgunned, we're out everything, I'm going to tell my guys right now, burn the boats. That's an order. And then once we burn the boats, then we're faced with the reality that we either take the island or we die. That's staying the course. So, and it might be, that might be dramatic. You might not be in a life or death situation, or you might, I don't know. I don't necessarily know exactly where you're at right now. But in that situation, it was life or death. In that situation, it was, you either do this, you know, we either take this or we die. So creating a heightened sense of anxiety. Now, anxiety has been put on this pedestal, and it's created, I mean, there's an epidemic right now. I mean, there's 2-3 million, you know, cases reported annually, like people, American, and it's worldwide, it's probably way more people that are dealing with this. But what is it? You know, what is the thing that we're dealing with? And the big thing is the unknown. And I think that's the big thing that creates this feeling of stress, this feeling of worry, this feeling of fear, the unknown. And if you plan to stay the course, the first thing you have to do is you have to put yourself in not just uncomfortable positions, but I'm talking about positions that freak you out. I'm talking about positions and situations that, you know, like if your thing is, you know, falling from a height, you don't need to just climb a ladder. You need to take your ass up and jump out of a plane. I'm talking, when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you put yourself in a position of almost panic, a position of almost like you felt like you were almost there? When was the last time you put yourself in a position where you were literally freaking out? When was the last time you put yourself in a position of panic to actually induce that physical feeling, so you can really look at what this thing is, this anxiety, this feeling that you have, this I don't know what's going to happen. Because if you plan to stay the course, if you plan to face the music, so to speak, if you plan to have that kind of attitude that you're going to burn the boats, that no matter what, you're going to make this thing work. If you plan to have that, and you plan to listen to what I'm saying, if you plan to stay the course, you're going to have to put yourself in a position of fear, a position of anxiety. You're going to have to induce it upon yourself. That's the way you're going to be able to inoculate yourself from it instead of always running from it. And that you might even thinking about doing something like that, it's like, why would I do that? Like, I'm afraid of heights. Like, why would I go up in a plane and jump out? I'm terrified of snakes. Why would I put a snake around my neck? I'm terrified of the dark. Why would I walk into a room where there's no lights on? Why would I do most of these things? Well, it's the same reason why a lot of people go and get a flu shot. And think about, what is a flu shot? The flu shot is they're giving you mild doses of the thing that's deadly that could kill you. Because then what happens? Your body starts to develop the antibodies. It starts to develop the defense against it. So here's the challenge. How quickly can you get into that position? How quickly can you face your fear? Now, I'm going to tell you, that's the first thing. It's, when's the last time? Ask yourself that question. Get real with yourself. When's the last time you put yourself in that position? And then how soon can you get in that position if it's been a while? And then the next thing that I want you to do, after you kind of have that as a plan, okay, that's the thing I need to do. And frequency. How frequent can you become uncomfortable? Because that's what's going to help you develop the inoculation, the antibody, if you will, to combat it. And the last part of it, if you truly want to stay the course, and I think about it with everything. I mean, it's risky. And 99.9% of the things I'm sharing with you are things that I'm constantly working on, developing, whether it be with myself most of the time, but also within my company, doing podcasts, writing books. I didn't know how to do any of that. There's no, here's how you do it. It's just kind of trial and error. Try it, might not work, might fail, might suck. Nobody might ever listen to it. When I had 3 listeners, probably the first 6-7 months doing the podcast, and then 3 turned into 6, turned into 9, turned into 900, turned into, now we have a couple thousand people that listen to this on a regular basis. Yeah, you hope that, but in those beginning times, especially when you don't know what you're doing, starting a business, building a clientele, going to hair school, going to any school, trying any technical skill, asking somebody out on a date, whatever it is, it's always risky. Life is inherently full of risk. If you don't want to take any risk, then go ahead and get in a box, cover it up with some dirt, and call it a day. That's the only way you're not going to have to deal with any risk. If you decide to stay vertical, stay on this side of the dirt, keep on moving through life, then you are going to have to deal with tons and tons of risky situations. It's not going to be one. It's not going to be one and done. You're not going to deal with one and then from there on out everything's going to be smooth. Oh no, that's not the way it's going to roll. You're not going to, okay, the biggest challenge I ever had in my life and that's over. That's not the way it's going to work. You're going to deal with situation after situation after situation after situation after situation. There's going to be countless risks that come up in your life. And if your goal is to avoid risk and tiptoe and try to get around it, then go ahead and put yourself in that box. Have somebody, hey, can you come throw some dirt on this box? Because I'm done. Now, it's not the kind of risk where you're just doing stupid risk, right? Like there's obviously people that, mess around and do, going into the casino is what I call stupid risk. Obviously if you're just going to have some fun and lose some money, then you'll be successful at that for sure. But if you're going there and you got your whole entire future on black, that's probably what I would call stupid risk. That's That's where you're actually thinking that that place was set up for you to win. Now, jumping out of a plane, yeah, that's scary, but the parachute is actually designed to make sure you live. A casino is not designed to make sure that you become rich, because you're definitely leaving out of there with less money than you went in, or else they don't know what business they're in. I've never been a part of the business, but I couldn't imagine a bunch of people thinking, right, you know what, we're going to open a casino and make all these people rich. That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking, how can we keep people there as long as possible? I don't know. They're sitting around the boardroom. Let's give them free alcohol. Why? What happens? Oh, because you feel lucky, right? Because what does alcohol do? It's kind of it doesn't last, but it's a false inoculation. The whole entire step. When I'm telling you to induce the anxiety, I'm telling you to induce the stress, induce the fear, run at the fire. That's like what happens when people, they call it liquid courage, because then they'll think, oh yeah, I too can, I can win. One person won, yeah, one out of the last 1,000 that played. So think about, that's what I would call a stupid risk, but not the kind of risk that you're taking where it is calculated. But if that's your plan, right? If your plan is to try and stay the course, if your plan is to stick with it, then you've got to get on it fast. And that's really what I need you to hear. Get on it fast. And it kills me, when I'm working with people or talking to people, and you can look at someone, you can look them in the eye and you can tell. A lot of people, there's people right now, and there might be in your company, that are in your company that quit, they just haven't left yet. They've been working there. You've been working right alongside them. You've been working right alongside them for the past year, but they quit, they just haven't left yet. And the reason why is the same thing. They're more afraid of the unknown. And if you think you're going to make it through unscathed, if you think you're going to make it through with no marks on your body, if you think you're going to make it through with no losses, when you guys that have been following me for a while and podcasts and all that stuff, the reason why I constantly am trying to create and to do more is because I'm trying to get uncomfortable as quickly as possible. Get uncomfortable as quickly as possible. Yes, I'm able to create maybe some kind of economics, but there's a hell of a lot more chance that I'm going to lose. Just think about starting a business in general. 97% go out of business in the first 2 years. 3% that make it, they go out of business in the first 5 years. The 3% out of that make it, they go out of business in the next 10 years. So why do it? Why put myself in that position? Because it's what makes me feel uncomfortable. And I know I'm already going to get cut. Right? I'm already going to get hit. I'm already going to get punched. I'm going to get, if you're a boxer, you go in a boxing ring, you think you're not going to get punched. That's part of the game, and that's part of life. So if you're trying to stay the course, those are the things I need you to be thinking about right now. When's the last time? How soon can I get into that position? How frequently can I get into that position? And the last part of it is, what is the alternative? Because the real unknown is the alternative. I want to apply for this job. I want to try to go do this position. I want to go for this opportunity. And if I don't do it, that's the real unknown. You'll be at the end of your days. You look somebody in the eye that's 60, 70, 80, really when they get to that 70 and 80 is when it gets most interesting. Because when you look at them in the eyes and you see in a 80-year-old, 85-year-old who knows like it's over, right? They're beyond it, and they're kind of going on the last little couple of miles of life. They're never ever talking about, oh, I regret I did this, I regret that, I regret this. The biggest thing that's happening at that point for those people that are on the last couple of miles, if you look them in the eye and you say, ask them some questions about life, like, do you have any regrets? Every time they have regrets, the regrets that they have are the things that they didn't do. the opportunities that they didn't take, the girl I didn't ask out, the guy I didn't let take me on a date, the job or the position I never applied for. Those are the regrets. It's not the things that I did. Yeah, along the way, I tried this, I got busted up, I opened this business, it failed. But the business that never got open, actually that failure hurt even worse, because what if I had started the next great salon? What if I had started the next great hair care company? What if you had started the next great whatever, wrote the next great novel, the book, the podcast, the girl, whatever it is? Those are the things that they really regret. And there's nothing worse than sitting, recently, an old man, and I was cutting some hair for the homeless, and I was talking to the guy, and you just feel it. I mean, and he did a lot. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't do a lot, but he, his head was kind of down, and, and he said, I was talking to him, and he actually, the crazy part is, he wishes he was doing what I did, what I'm doing. I'm cutting his hair. He's like, and he started talking about it with like passion. He's sitting there, he's in a wheelchair, like fought in a war, lost a couple legs, thought he could never do it, thought it was not a possibility. And that was it. I mean, he was sitting there and he was just like, I used to do hair, and he was talking about doing his hair, his sister's hair when he's 13. He did it all the way up to he's 18, and he like always wanted to go to school for it, never went. Ended up going into the military, went to the war, lost a couple legs, came back, and just felt like, it's just too late. Too late. And there's nothing, I mean, I could feel the pain, like, and that might be a small glimpse, but I'm telling you, spend some time and see what that looks like. So that's why stay in the course. If you really want to do it, you got to get yourself into those kinds of positions. So hopefully you guys will take this. I'm excited to actually share this with you in the inaugural podcast at 1.0 Media. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and you're going to do something about it. You're going to put yourself into a uncomfortable position real soon. Whatever it is. And the biggest tip I can say is, whatever that thing is, as soon as it pops into your head, do it. Just do it. You're like, oh yeah, because I'm telling you right now, I was planning on jumping out of a plane when I was, 18, 19, 20 years old, and didn't do it. And then it was not for another 15 years until I actually did it, and I was like, man, what happened? I mean, it lasted for 120 seconds and then it was over, but it took 15 years to get to that 120 seconds. So when you think of it, do it. Whatever that thing that's going to make you uncomfortable, whatever that thing is, you're like, I don't know. As soon as you think it, don't even have the conversation with any loser ass people around you, including your loser ass talk you might be going on in your own head. Just do it. Just do it. So hopefully this gets you moving and gets you thinking about, how can I stay the course? Thanks for listening to the inaugural YFYI podcast from 1.0 Media. Stay tuned for lots of production that will be coming out of here, and all kinds of things. We're all going to get uncomfortable. We got people that are starring in shows on YouTube that don't even know it yet. If you guys haven't seen the video for some of the clips, the different things that we're going to be bringing to you, from hair to makeup to style to fashion to food to business to all of the different things. We've got interviews coming from our team, so you guys can get to learn about the different characters that make up the Salon 1.0. So you'll hear about them, you'll see them on YouTube, you'll be able to follow their journey as well. And stay tuned for another YFYI podcast. And if you guys are jamming on the Amazon devices, make sure you catch up with Rolling with the D, either Anchor or through the Alexa app. It's popping daily. You can catch a little brief. So thanks for tuning in. Check out the video if you guys get a chance. Keep the comments, the feedback coming. Share this with somebody that might be in that position right now, somebody that you think might be kind of contemplating, not sure about their next move, unsure about any moves. And they're just maybe they're in an analysis paralysis type of phase where they're just kind of debating and waiting, and that's a scary place to be, because then you're left to your own devices. They're in their head. And I always say, if you stay in your head, you're dead. So share this with that person. I'd appreciate it. Make sure you catch a review if you haven't. left a review, leave a review and catch a t-shirt. You've seen them. I've got one somewhere around here. So get yourself one of those for leaving a review. That'll help the podcast get discovered. Appreciate it. Thanks for the love. And I look forward to talking to you guys on the next YFYI podcast. And remember, this is the place you come to learn how to build your business right once, or else you will be doomed to have to build it again. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Whoa. So all of you guys that get the after, I don't know if this is called the aftershock, but appreciate you guys on the video. Hopefully you guys took away something from this, like the little tour I gave you earlier of the different parts of our space. It is a whip. It's a work in progress. So you'll see different looks like every time. I mean, different setups will be going on, different videos that'll be coming out of here. So stay tuned. If you guys are watching this, I also want to do some, I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I want to do some live stuff. So if you're into that, if you want to do some live hangouts, I know like Instagram is launching a new feature. If you don't know about it, you heard it here first, where you can have like, I think maybe 4, 5, 6 people on screen at a time in Instagram live. So that's something coming soon with an update. Looking to maybe do something on there. I don't know if it's going to be, multiple screens going on at the same time, but I'm looking for a couple ideas and topics what we'll jam about. Because I know some of you guys like one at a time, you'll hit me up on wherever it's at, Messenger, this or that, and have questions. So a lot of them are along the same theme. So what I'm thinking I want to do is bring together a group of people on one subject. It might be, the groups, how many ever can fit. If it's only 6 people, it's 6 people. If it's 5, 4, 3, whatever it is, got to find the right time to do it. Probably be after hours. A lot of you guys, if you're working in salons, like it might be a Monday night or Sunday night or something, like 30-minute jam session. So those are some things that are coming. You guys heard about it first. So when those launch, you guys will be the first ones to know about it, so you can get on board with that. So thanks for watching the video. Definitely enjoyed doing this. Looking forward to creating a lot more content for you guys in the near future. So until next time, YFYI video peeps, I'll see you soon.